Well, good morning from Texas. I was going to go for a walk, but as you can tell, that might be a little rough. It's actually sprinkling on me as we speak. Don't look like it's going to be a very good range day. So, maybe we ought to go in here and do a little reloading. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, here's the very expensive reloading setup that we're using. I think I said before in some of our in the other videos, I used to take this little foldable bench reloading deal. When I worked out of town, I'd take it and set it up in the hotel and usually motels and load ammo. So anyway, we're going to be using that press and that Remington, that RCBS reloading scale. I think that's a Charge Master. And we're going to be loading this brass. This is that 300 Blackout brass. I bought a bunch of it in bulk. We measured a bunch of it. These are primed. I use Winchester large rifle primers mainly because I've got several thousands of them. I bought them years ago, and like I said before in other videos, I find something I like, I generally stay with it. Kind of the same thing when it comes to going to a restaurant. I tend to order the same thing over and over, which pretty much drives my family nuts, but you know, you like what you like. So we'll get this thing set up and we'll reconnect and get going. All right, here we go. Okay, we've got it powered up, the Charge Master that is. Got it leveled out, ready to rock. We're going to enter the charge wake that we're going to run with, and we're going to tell it to dispense. And there we go. We are dispensing. Okay, this is my load. I'm not going to say this is correct or incorrect, but this is what we're going to load. So there you go. We put this thing down. Here you go. These are the primers that we use. As you can tell, this is old packaging, but like I said, got several thousands of them, and bought them a long time ago, and as long as you don't let them get in the weather, they're good. Okay, these are the projectiles that we're loading. Missouri Bullet Company 300 Blackout, 309 diameter, 245 grains. And yeah, I've had these a while. Look at that date. Yeah, day before my birthday. Cool. Anyway, this, as you can tell, we have loaded a few of these, and we have put a lot of them down range. So here we go. Alrighty, kick this thing back on. Take a look at that. That's exactly what I was wanting to load to. I don't know if you can see that. That's 2/100 overall length. That's the length that I like to run out of mine. That seems to bring us the best accuracy. You can set them out a little further in my rifle, but it didn't seem to help. These seem to work really the best at 2/100, so that's what I'm going to load. We're going to load a bunch more. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to come to the grand finale. What we're going to do is we're going to put a crimp right around here, which will actually fold the brass in to make a good solid hold on this lead. You don't want this thing to go up in the chamber out of the magazine and hit and push this bullet back. That could be real bad. So here we go. We're going to put it up in the die like we've been doing. See it? Okay, and this is the factory crimp die from Lee. Can you see the split in the die there? We're going to close that die up, and you can't see it. Dadgummit. Anyway, there's a split. There's 4 crossway splits in there. Can you see them now? No? Yeah. See the gap in between those? What'll happen is it'll actually constrict it like this, and what we end up with, if I can get this thing to line up, see how it's crimped all the way around the deal there? Okay, and then one more final check. We will actually put it in our check gauge here. Pretty hard to do one-handed. See, she's good and flat. That tells me that it's perfect to SAMI specs right there. So that tells us right there it will go in and it will fit our chamber. So let's do another one, see if we can pull this off again. Okay, see the deal there? Can't see what I'm doing. Okay, see how it's split in there now? Bullet's going to come up through it and it closes around it. And then voila. I think that's French, I don't know. See how it crimps around it? And again, we always check, especially all our hunting ammo, if it'll go in the container. And there we go. And another thing I'll tell you to do for sure is to keep good records. A lot of people write in spirals. I've done that before, but this is what I tend to do pretty frequently, is write on the box what the load is, what the bullet weight, what the charge weight is, and what the overall length is. Anyway, that way you can duplicate it later, or you know where to start if you want to do some changing. Again, I do not recommend this load. I can't verify this load in your firearm, but I know it works in mine. So just keep that in mind. I'm not a lawyer, but I did play one on TV once. Just keep that in mind. Use your charge weights. Go on listed stuff. Hodgdon.com. You can go to Accurate, which is what this is, and some of the others, and they will give you some loads. I will tell you on the Sub-sonic deal where you work backwards. You start at a higher load and work your way back till you get it close to Sub-sonic. And also make sure that when you pull the trigger, something hits the target at the other end. If you don't see another hole, stop right there. I've never stuck one anything other than a 22, but it could be really bad. So on the opposite effect, we normally start at about an 80% load and then work our way up till we see pressure signs. Sub-sonic's the other way around. You start fast, work your way back. All right. Okay, I've been asked, aren't I concerned about the charge weight and an air gap or whatever they call that, where there's flash between the powder and whatever? And I told them no, even though I am loading half the charge weight that we would with a supersonic load, that'd be this guy here, look where that would line up. Approximately, that's where we load them. With this 245, that's where I'm loading them. So no, I'm not worried about an air gap or whatever they call that flash fire between the primer. Can't get my finger in there. The primer hitting the powder. Now I have heard guys doing that kind of a hang fire deal when they were downloading like some big boomer Weatherbys, but these here are pretty tried and true loads. They've worked pretty good for me. So no, I'm not concerned at all. But there you go. There's you a good way of telling. Another trick to these is I've got a lot of Fiocchi brass in 7.6239. Well, you can make Grendel ammo out of it. Well, I found out that my favorite load in my Grendel with the Lapua brass, the reformed 7.6239 to Grendel, the charge was way up here. I mean, you couldn't seat the bullet without compressing it, and I'm just not. I did that years ago. I won't do it anymore. I'm just not a big fan of compressing the powder. Anyway, especially with the temperature fluctuations that we have here in Texas, you might be hunting in 30-degree weather and the next weekend it's 80. So anyway, I just won't compress powder. But did learn a lesson there, trying to reform Grendel from the 7.6239 Fiocchi. I had to back my charge down a full grain, and at that point that thing is probably a 99% load. That I guarantee you the bullet is touching the powder in those. But on these guys here, like I said, we're trying to slow it down. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. I was asked about that before. All right. Well, welcome to the Fat Man's Fitness channel. That's a joke. Anyway, we got some ammo loaded. It's not raining now, so we figured we'd take a walk. You see that? Yeah. My dad used to call those cotton candy clouds. Anyway, there's some blue behind it, so we're going to go take us a walk. Gotten a little lethargic in the 6 weeks that pretty much been off for the whatever they want to call it, so I'm not going to say anything. But I elected to take off. Company's still working. And no, I'm not drawing pay. No, I'm not filing unemployment. I am a small business also, so no, I'm not filing for government help on any of that. Just gonna suck it up and keep going. Anyway, let's go for a walk, try to get a little exercise in, because here in a week or so I'm sure we're gonna go back to work. And I'll pop back on this here in 45 minutes to an hour. Of course, it'd just be a click for you guys. See ya. There you go, a little over 2 miles in. As you can tell, the sun did make it out. Anyway, it's a pretty good walk. It's about 67, 68 degrees, I believe, when I started. 20, 25 mile an hour north wind. So it kind of made me wonder why I turned to the north. There's a little bit of an aerodynamic drag. Anyway, got my walk in, legs are on fire. Anyway, we're going to wrap this thing up today. We're going to try to get that 300 blackout reload thing on here and get it uploaded. If you wouldn't mind, right down here somewhere, would you click the subscribe? Give me a thumbs up if we're going on, and looking for some constructive criticism. Some of the negative stuff, y'all need to go find something else to do. Anyway, just a late baby boomer, just trying to make my way. Anyway, y'all have a great day.